Good morning. My name is Chad Griffin, and I'm here today as the board president of the American Foundation for Equal Rights, and to introduce the plaintiffs and the legal team that will be fighting one of the most important civil rights cases in our nation's history. Yesterday, the California Supreme Court issued a ruling that had a profound effect on lesbian and gay Californians. We saw thousands of people take to the streets last night to express their sadness, grief, and dismay at the court's failure to protect their fundamental rights. But yesterday's ruling had an even more profound impact. It signaled to gay Americans across this nation that we are not viewed as equal in the eyes of the law. To every American whose rights are being denied, we are here to say this fight is not over and we will win. We are taking this fight to the federal courts in order to protect the equal rights guaranteed to every American by the United States Constitution. Our courts exist to protect our rights when they are violated, and we are prepared to go all the way to the United States Supreme Court to find justice. We are acting now because, as Dr. King said, justice delayed is justice denied. For even one couple to live through one more day of state-sanctioned second-class citizenship is one day too many. Two extraordinary attorneys are leading this case as co-counsel, Ted Olson and David Boies, two lawyers who faced off in one of the most contentious Supreme Court cases of all time, Bush v. Gore, but who are working together to fight this historic civil rights battle. They share an abiding belief that all Americans are guaranteed equal protection under the law and are guaranteed the right to marry the person they love. These lawyers standing before you represent the plaintiffs who are standing here today: Paul Katami and Jeff Zarillo and Chris Perry and Sandy Steer. Paul and Jeff have been in a committed relationship for 8 years, and Chris and Sandy have been together for 9 years and are the parents of 4 boys. It does not weaken the fabric of our communities to grant them these basic familial rights. It strengthens them. It does not undermine marriage to extend to these loving couples. It affirms it. This is one of the threshold civil rights issues of our generation. Justice is on our side, and we're about to reclaim it. I am proud to introduce one of the finest, most passionate, and eloquent lawyers in this country, Ted Olson.
Thank you, Chad. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Ted Olson, and I'm very, very pleased to be here with my friend and colleague, David Boies. As you heard, we are two lawyers from opposite ends of the political spectrum who have come together to support one of the most important issues of our time. The case we filed on behalf of the individuals that you see before you today is not about liberal or conservative, Democrat or Republican. We're here in part to symbolize that. This case is about the equal rights guaranteed to every American under the United States Constitution. For too long, gay men and lesbians who seek stable, committed, loving relationships within the institution of marriage have been denied that fundamental right that the rest of us freely enjoy. Yesterday, the California Supreme Court said that Proposition 8 makes it okay for gay men and lesbians to be our neighbors, our friends, our doctors, our lawyers, our parents, our children, our brothers, and our sisters, but they can't get married. The plaintiffs in this case are Americans. They work hard, they pay their taxes, and they want to get married, just like many of the rest of us. They simply want to live their lives without being discriminated against by their government. All they want are the freedoms to which they are entitled under the Constitution and to which the rest of us so freely enjoy. Creating a second class of citizens is discrimination, plain and simple. The Constitution of Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and Abraham Lincoln does not permit it. Our nation was founded on the principle that all Americans are created equal. This case is about ensuring that every American is treated equally under the law. California has created a separate relationship for same-sex couples called domestic partnerships. That is separate, and that is not equal. It is unconstitutional. Proposition 8 denies people fundamental constitutional rights. Our courts exist to protect people when their rights are infringed. Citizens of this country, when they're denied equal rights, turn to the courts for vindication of those rights. That is why we have them. We're going to court because people shouldn't have to surrender their fundamental rights to a popular plebiscite. People should not have to beg to be treated equally or wait for decades for popular approval to be treated equally. And when people are denied their rights, they deserve a remedy, and the courts are the most direct way to accomplish that. Now I would like to introduce my dear colleague and dear friend, David Boies.
Thank you, Ted. It's a pleasure to be here. I must say that being up here on a platform with Ted Olson and all these lights makes me want to urge everybody to count every vote. But we are here today for something that is of equal or perhaps even greater importance. Our Constitution guarantees every American the right to be treated equally under the law. There is no right more fundamental than the right to marry the person that you love and to raise a family. The courts exist to reverse injustices. The purpose of our Constitution and the purpose of our court system is to make sure that the promise of our Constitution is extended to every American. That's what this lawsuit is about. The concept of equality, of equal rights and equal justice under the law, is not just in our Constitution. I believe it is in the hearts and souls of every American. And we have tolerated discrimination and injustice in the past because we have been blinded to the fact that the person being discriminated against is simply another human being, another American. That blindness has enabled us historically not to recognize the equality of people based on sex, based on race, based on religion, and now based on sexual orientation. This lawsuit is about the courts saying that no matter how blind people may be, the Constitution guarantees that everyone deserves the equal rights that every human being is entitled to. And we go to court because that is the place that those equal rights have been established time and again over the last 100 years. Thank you.